Hey guys, Robert here. I'd made a video, quite a few months back about how to remove the epoxy drips from your sample, your countertops, whatever it is you're doing. And I was using this little gadget. This here, it's a metal sanding pad. It's pretty tough. It does have some give to it, and it does a really good job of taking the drips off of the back of your, hold on one second, off of the back of your sample, your counter, or whatever it is you're doing. And you can see these are some pretty pronounced drips. But there's something else you can use if you haven't got access to that. I mean, granted, they don't sell them in every store, or even every hardware store for that matter. You can get them sometime at Walmart. I get all mine at Home Depot. But if you ain't got that, you can use this. This does a really good job too. It's not as good as this or as quick, but it still does a really good job. And once I get done with this one, if I use this one, I'll take and go over it with my orbital, 5-inch orbital, and smooth it out. But let me get set up here and I'll show you how good this removes these drips too. You gotta excuse me, I'm trying to do this one-handed. I broke my tripod. Yeah, I know, that's not good. I gotta get another one. I don't hardly have time to do anything anymore. I'm gonna sit the camera down for just a minute while I tighten this. Alright. Anyway, bear with me for a minute because this is gonna be noisy. But I want to show you how good this does. Really good job. Hold on. Excuse the noise. Well, as you can see, it does a very, very fine job of moving them drips, removing them drips. Now, but the key to it is you have to keep it moving. You have to keep this moving back and forth. If you don't, it's going to eat a hole in your substrate really, really quick. Now, the reason I was saying get the 5-inch orbitable out is if you're anything like me, I don't know if you can see them on camera or not, but this leaves really, really fine sand marks on the back side, which, I mean, on this here, it's not going to bother me on this. But if you wanted to get rid of them, just take you some 220 grit on your 5-inch orbitable or belt sander or by hand, and just go over that and it'll take care of that. Now, there is another way. If you want to babysit your project, there is another way you can do it. Give me 1 second. Let me set the camera down and I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. But you could take and get you some painter's tape and you can mask off the edge of the bottom side of your sample, countertop, whatever it is you're doing. But the thing about this method is you have to babysit it, because if you wait too long and your epoxy sets up on this tape is going to be locked in for life. Now, you can sand it off, but you're going to dig into your substrate and everything else in the process of doing that. So that's why because I can get sidetracked a little bit, I'll just take and let them harden, let them do their thing. I'll take my little sander over there and I'll just knock them off. To me, it's just easier that way. And now, I know the last time I done this, I got a lot of backlash. Well, why don't you just tape it off? Well, not everybody has that kind of time to sit there and babysit epoxy for 3 hours or stay around. Maybe they have to run somewhere, have something else they have to do. Anyways, what I'm getting to, not everybody has time to babysit something like this. Whenever it's just as easy, and probably it's quicker, I think, to use this or that than to use the tape. My opinion, you know, that's just me. Everybody has their own way of doing things. But let's see if there's anything else I need to put into here. You can take, once you get it taped off, just overlap it. I mean, be smooth, be right on the edge here with it. But on the ends, you can just take a razor blade once you get it taped up and trim this little excess tape off, and then that'll be out of your way. And if you got time to babysit it, and you got to make sure your drips are still fluid enough to where they'll pull off, but set up enough to where once you do pull this tape off, that epoxy is not going to start running again. You see what I'm saying? As long as your epoxy is set up hard enough, and when you pull your tape off, that way your epoxy don't start running under again and forming new drips. That's just it's a trial and error. You just got to judge your epoxy right and know when to pull it. Personally, I like my little old grinder method, and I like this better than I like the sanding pad. It's just, I just like it better. I just like this better. To me, it does a better job, smoother job. It don't leave these little fine sand lines. You got to keep this one moving too, because if not, it's going to eat a hole in your substrate. And when I do my next pour, which is probably going to be tomorrow night. Yeah, it's probably gonna be tomorrow night. I'll do the tape and I'll show you what I'm talking about how you got to babysit it, and you just for 3 hours you really, I wouldn't chance going anywhere or doing anything away from the home or the shop until the tape come off. That's why I like the disc better. It's, you know, you take 5 minutes and your project's clean on the bottom and you don't have to do anything else to it. But I figured I'd make this because the last time everybody kept telling me about the tape method, and yeah, they're right, you can use the tape if you want to babysit it, but I'm not the one for babysitting things. My kids are grown, they're out of the house, they have kids of their own. Well, I can't say I don't babysit because I love my grandbabies to death and I'd babysit them anytime. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do, is just make that little quick video and show you guys a couple more things you can do to get your drips off. And if you guys got any kind of value out of this video, drop me a thumbs up, please. It helps me out a little bit, helps me get higher in the queue. If you ain't already got yourself subscribed, hit that subscribe button, the little bell. That way you get notified every time I do put a video out. I really do appreciate you guys watching these videos, and I'm trying my best to get them out more frequent and on a schedule of getting them out, but I'm so busy with work. I mean, when I don't work, this is what I'm doing. And I really do appreciate you guys.